Every day, millions of patients walks out of the clinic with static lab reports. Numbers like LDL 140 or HbA1c 6.2 exist on flat sheets of paper, abstract and disconnected from the human body. Because patients can't visualize how their daily choices compound over time, compliance is low and preventable. Diseases go untreated. Welcome to Chronobody. So Chronobody is an interactive predictive blueprint for your future health. Right, so Chronobody acts as a Google Maps for biological trajectory. By integrating real-time clinical engines and digital twin projections, Chronobody translates flat medical records into interactive, time-scrollable 3D hologram. This allows patients to scrub 10 years into the future, visualizing how lifestyle adjustments or risk factors directly affect organs health. It bridges the gap between patient compliance and clinical advisory, shifting medicine from reactive treatment to proactive preventions. So, Chronobody is powered directly by the Ontomorph platform through two main APIs. It uses the Ontomorph Holon Clinical Knowledge Engine, which resolves unstructured conversational text into standardized SNOMED, LONIC, and RxNOM codes. It maps the reference ranges for patient biomarkers and dynamically analyzes drug-to-drug clinical interactions. Then it also uses the Ontomorph Digital Twin Platform SDK, which decodes secure patient grant tokens, connect the client application to individual twin instances, run mathematical projection models like LDL trajectory and HbA1c trajectory to project simulated outcomes over a 10-year timeline. So now, let's get started on the Chronobody onboarding console. We'll initiate a predicted health simulation by launching our secure clinical onboarding interview. So now during onboarding, right, instead of filling out boring multi-page forms, the patient participates in a conversational interview. So we use the Ontomorph API to pass the natural language on the fly. It immediately maps the patient condition to drugs and standardized medical vocabularies. So now I'll just paste in a prompt, right, so that we can just move ahead. Yes. Okay, so we'll go ahead and compile the digital twin. And now we can see that this is the digital twin based off the details we gave the Holon APIs. So now since it has compiled, the Ontomorph DTP SDK establishes a secure connection with the patient's digital twin. On the left, we see a premium neutral 3D holographic mannequin. The highlighted nodes represents active organs glowing green, amber, or red, depending on their projected health index scores. On the right, on the other hand, we have the biomarker charts mapping LDL and HbA1c curves. Watch as I drag the 10-year timeline scrubber. The model dynamically updates. At the 10-year, the heart node turns amber, alerting us on potential vascular damage based off current trajectories. Okay, so drag it now to the 10-year. So you can see now that the person's heart now is very critical, is at risk. So that's why it's highlighted in red. We can also see how conditions like high fats, sugar foods, whole foods, exercise intensity also affects the patient's life cycles. You can see now when we balance it with whole foods and activities like exercises, it brings down the patient's condition from highly critical to critical and stabilizes the patient's heart. Exactly. So also we can also compare scenarios like diets, exercise, smoking status, etc., and see how such lifestyle can have an overall impact on the patient's lives. So we can also see clinical notes on this patient. So this is a clinical note on this patient, and we can also export these clinical notes to PDF. So for future updates, we are also planning on implementing proper FHIR data, where we can export the patient FHIR data and share with partnered hospitals, which can populate their database with the exact patient medical history, and this will help streamline healthcare for individuals. So this is Chronobody. So Chronobody is a platform that simulates how patients' lifestyle, right, affects their overall health longevity. Thank you.